Top stories this evening sponsored by Courts, bringing value home. Guyana to petition the United States for lower tariffs. VP JAGDEO says good grounds exist. United States is not your friend, says GHK LALL, as Guyana faces a 38% tariff. And any party who pussyfoots on the implementation of biometrics intends to rig the 2025 elections, says NORRIS WITTER. HGP Nightly News begins now. Good evening to our viewers here in Guyana and online. I'm Travis Chase with the Friday, April 4 edition of the HGP Nightly News. Here's what you need to know this evening. There are sufficient grounds for Guyana to petition the United States of America to lower recently announced tariffs imposed on Guyana. This is according to Vice President JAGDEO. You'll have more details in this report. Whenever government officials meet with United States officials to discuss the 38% tariffs on goods from Guyana, they plan to petition the United States to lower the 38% tariff on imports from Guyana because, according to Vice President JAGDEO, Guyana is importing much more from the United States than what is actually reported.
From what we looked at, all we have read, it seems as though that all of the countries that have had higher reciprocal tariffs are countries that have been exporting more into the United States of America than they're importing from the United States of America. That is countries that have a trade surplus with the United States of America.
The VP said differences in trade figures supplied to the United Nations Commodities Trade Statistics Database are good grounds for Guyana to petition for lower tariffs.
Clearly, there is room for us to work with the U.S. partners to clarify this information.
Guyana, according to Mr. JAGDEO, plans to raise the fact that trade surplus has grown from US $69 million in 2020 to US $4.1 billion in 2024 because of oil.
So we have differences from our reporting to Comtrade, UN Comtrade, and the US report to Comtrade.
US President Donald Trump has already said the new import taxes were designed to reduce trade deficits and bring foreign manufacturing back to the U.S. shores. He also said they would pave the way for tax future cuts. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News. Meanwhile, one former chartered financial analyst is adamant that the United States government's abrupt 38% tariff on Guyana exported goods may be a warning to the land of many waters to sever relations with the Chinese government. But would the Ali-led regime do such? Antonio Day will tell you more.
The U.S. is not very happy with the Chinese presence in this country. And we are not talking about Chinese restaurants. We are talking about these big, huge conglomerates, so to speak, that are these big fortresses that are really financed by the Chinese government.
That was GHK LALL, former chartered financial analyst, during a recent telephone interview with Nightly News. During a one-day visit to Guyana late last month, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio expressed a view that countries must become less reliant on China, since it continues to dominate the world economy. Following his visit to Guyana, the U.S. Secretary of State deplored the poor quality of roads here, wrongfully attributing it to the Chinese. At a joint press conference in Suriname with that country's president, Rubio stated, and I quote, "They do a terrible job, not a bad job, a terrible job," unquote. LALL said it would appear that countries that align themselves with the United States, as well as China, have found themselves between a rock and a hard place, including Guyana.
It puts the Guyana government in a bind. It puts it definitely in a bind that here you have your friend lashing you with tariffs.
On Wednesday, the United States imposed a 38% tariff on goods exported from Guyana, including seafood and other items, and the Guyana government has stated that it will work with Washington to better understand the situation. LALL made it clear that the government of the day needs to open its eyes and realize that the U.S. government is not their friend.
I don't think the PPP government has much wiggle room. It has backed itself in a corner, that has put all its eggs in one basket. And so now the piper has to be paid. I don't know how we can step away or from this tariff trap.
Reuters on Friday reported that China announced additional tariffs of 34% on U.S. goods, which is the most serious escalation in a trade war with Trump. In the standoff between the world's top two economies, Beijing also announced controls on export of medium and heavy rare earth, including samarium, gadolinium, and terbium. I'm Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
General Secretary of the Guyana Trades Union Congress, Lincoln Lewis, is pushing back against recent remarks made by Labour Minister Joseph Hamilton regarding migrant workers. Lewis insists that the government must prioritize Guyanese workers. Find out more from Tiana Cole.
General Secretary of the Guyana Trades Union Congress, GTUC, Lincoln Lewis, has heavily criticized recent comments from Minister of Labour Joseph Hamilton regarding the work ethics of the local workforce and migrant labour filling that gap. Hamilton, at a recent community meeting in Hazeltown on the east coast of Demerara, warned of a potential influx of migrant workers into the local labour market. Lewis said his statement clearly reflects either a misunderstanding of his role or an arrogance often exhibited by some politicians. Lewis argued that businesses have already raised concerns about the attitudes of some Guyanese workers. However, he emphasized that the Labour Minister must prioritize Guyanese workers above all else.
To suggest that the government will prioritize foreign workers over Guyanese citizens is a failure on his part and the government. The people he refers to are citizens who, despite challenges, deserve a government committed to improving their lives, not abandoning them at any point.
He further stressed that the minister's comments indicate a failure to implement systems that promote job creation and fair wages.
The issue is not that the people refuse to work, but that the wages are insufficient. How can a minister expect workers to live on $60,000 a month while he earns $500,000?
Minister Hamilton clarified his statement, asserting that Guyana ensures fairness in employment through adherence to labour and immigration laws. He stated that these laws help maintain economic stability while protecting the rights and dignity of both workers and employers. Hamilton also emphasized that the employment of undocumented individuals is not merely a minor infraction, but a serious deviation from the principles of accountability, justice, and due process, which are fundamental. Tiana Cole reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
You're watching the HGP Nightly News. Stay with us. There is more news ahead.
Keeping up with the kids' growth spurts might mean it's time for a bigger fridge. Don't worry, at Quartz, we've got you. Save up to $50,000 on select fridges. Get a free grill or mixer with select stoves and more. Need to upgrade your home? Get smart TVs from as low as $32,999. Plus, shop today and pay later. And make your first payment in 30 days with Quartz Ready Finance. Whatever you need, we've got you. Only at Quartz, bringing value home. Offer ends April 23, 2025.
Welcome to SNL Electrical Inc., where lighting and electrical needs are met with expertise and style. From the latest in electrical lamps to durable cables, circuit breakers, panels, we have it all. Illuminate your space with our elegant chandeliers, stunning crystal lights, and versatile pole lights. Looking to upgrade your comfort? Explore top-of-the-line AC units and our diverse selections of stylish styles. Visit us at 170-180 Thomas Street, Kitty, Georgetown. Discover a solution that not only lights up your world but transforms it. Call us on telephone number 226-3018 or 223-1634. SNL Electrical Inc. powering your life with elegance, quality, and care.
70% ethyl alcohol, Mighty Foam Hand Sanitizer eliminates 99.99% of all germs and even moisturizes in the process, leaving your skin clean and hydrated. Mighty Foam Hand Sanitizer. How do you stay clean?
Krishna Rock Establishment. No job is too small or too large. We specialize in all types of fabricating, machinery, excavator repairs, rice field pumps, and hydraulic hoses. Visit us at Lot 113, Block CC Monrepo, East Coast, Demerara, or call 220-9624, 616-9416, or 619-7880. At Krishna Rock Establishment, no job is too small or too large.
Thanks for staying tuned to the HGP Nightly News. There is quiet worry in the People's Progressive Party's camp since two United States sanctioned businessmen traveled to Barbados. While that is happening, the country's vice president took a jibe at Barbados. Here's more. The People's Progressive Party Civic continues to speculate why businessmen Azruddin and Nazar Mohammed recently traveled to sister Caribbean nation Barbados. When General Secretary of the PPPC and the country's sitting Vice President JAGDEO was asked for a comment on the travels of the Mohammeds, who were thought to be blacklisted at Guyana's airports, had this to say.
Did they go there on a vacation? No. The answer was, from what they said, they were going to meet the U.S. prosecutors.
Whether the Mohammeds indeed traveled to Barbados for a meeting with United States prosecutors or for just a vacation, the PPPC seems very worried about whatever transpired in Barbados.
I'm wondering what they would have told the prosecutors, but the mere fact you're going to Barbados to meet the prosecutors, is there an issue there? The issue is not Guyana issue. So it was not a vacation.
The party's general secretary then proceeded to mock Barbados, one of the most developed countries in the Eastern Caribbean, a sister Caribbean country whose Prime Minister Mia Mottley and Guyana's President Irfan Ali share a close relationship.
But really, if you go to Barbados, that's not no big destination you're going to. You got to be really desperate to post like your picture on Barbados and say, look, I'm traveling now. It is I'm really, it's funny for me, frankly speaking, when you have to just big up Barbados as your big destination you could travel to. A man showed he was in Paris or somewhere else or in Manhattan.
The Mohammeds family were sanctioned by the U.S. government for alleged under-declaration of taxes. Since then, Azruddin Mohammed has given the PPPC nightmares when he signaled that he will be entering the presidential elections race. There has been a back and forth between the government and the Mohammeds family, who insists that their family and businesses are being unfairly targeted by the government. Most recently, Attorney General Anil Nandlal said the police and the Guyana Revenue Authority are ready to act against the Mohammeds. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News. Any political party who has decided before on the implementation of biometric voting and has suddenly changed its position has intentions of rigging the 2025 general elections. These were the charges made by NORRIS WITTER, president of the Guyana Trades Union Congress. Antonio Day will tell you more.
Any party, any one of those two parties, while in government, to reject the notion of biometrics means that that party is intent on rigging the elections. Simple logic.
That was NORRIS WITTER, president of the Guyana Trades Union Congress, GTUC. Minister of Legal Affairs Anil Nandlal, during an appearance on his weekly program Issues in the News, a while ago stated that he does not believe Guyana is prepared for biometric voting. He gave an eye-opening response.
Why you want to resort to technology where things can go wrong in a country like Guyana? Where we can have a blackout. on election day and it damages some computer program.
This was the position of Bar JAGDEO, who was the then opposition leader of the People's Progressive Party Civic in 2015.
To make sure that the list is cleaned up so that the abuse that we had, where when you had sympathetic presiding officers to the opposition, allowing people who should not have voted to vote. We need enhanced biometric.
WITTER, during a press conference on Thursday, said that JAGDEO, who is now at the helm of government, is singing at a different tune. He posited that the Vice President's sudden opposition of enhanced biometrics is a clear indication of rigging the elections.
For his party to say that biometrics is not necessary, then we can argue logically that a PVPC intends to rig the election.
The GTUC made it clear that the Guyana Elections Commission has the constitutional mandate to deliver credible elections and must not take directives from the state. Meanwhile, Lincoln Lewis, General Secretary of the GTUC, said that GCOM will and must be held accountable for any mishaps or shortcomings at this year's elections.
Commissioners accountable for anything that happens if we don't get biometrics.
I'm Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Dacia Richards will tell you now that the girlfriend of an accident victim is calling for justice after her boyfriend was remanded to prison following the court date.
Following an accident in April of 2024, Kelon King was placed on remand in January of 2025 after an allegation was made to the police by a man who accused Kelon of stealing his $450,000 gold chain. The said man subsequently drove his car and hit Kelon on Red Road, Sapphire. The girlfriend of King related to this newscast that her boyfriend was riding on his motorcycle along with his friend as a pillion rider on Red Road, Sapphire, and was hit by a car, the driver being the person who claimed that Kelon had stolen his gold chain.
A car driver bar drive them, so when they take the opposite turn, he opened more wider, so it was allegation between the two of them. And when them drive away, like 4 street away from where they made the allegation, my fiancé feel is an impact behind the motorcycle.
She alleged that the car driver then continued the violence by beating Kelon and his friend with a hockey stick and then called his nephew to ride over her boyfriend's left foot. The woman said that after a royal run around between the Director of Public Prosecutions and the Turkine Station Police, they only received a court date in January.
At Turkine Police Station, each and every one of them take pay because the car come out and every time you go in and tell you today or tomorrow, and them file alone, the man file alone go to the court, whilst them file out back at DBP.
She claims the man alleged that King had stolen a gold chain from him, and every time there is a court date, the man never makes an appearance, and as such, she is pleading for justice. King is currently on remand at the Luziknan prison with an infected wound on his foot, awaiting his next court date, the 10th of April. For HGP Nightly News, I am Dacia Richards.
Stay with us. You're watching the HGP Nightly News.
Planning a cleanup? We can help. Sevon's Waste Management skip bins can be provided for home renovation projects, yard cleanup, or construction project. It's simple. Step 1, give us a call. Step 2, we put down the bin. Step 3, load it up with all of your junk. Step 4, we take it away. That's simple. Bins are also available in various sizes, so there is no job that is too big or too small. Call Sevon's Waste Management today at 218-1455.
Keeping up with the kids' growth spurts might mean it's time for a bigger fridge. Don't worry, at Quartz, we've got you. Save up to $50,000 on select fridges. Get a free grill or mixer with select stoves and more. Need to upgrade your home? Get smart TVs from as low as $32,999. Plus, shop today and pay later. And make your first payment in 30 days with Quartz Ready Finance. Whatever you need, we've got you. Only at Quartz, bringing value home. Offer ends April 23, 2025.
Fruta full of vibes. Sip on Fruta and win groceries for 6 months. Plus, score one of 6 65-inch TVs or over $1 million in cash prizes. Be one of 53 lucky cash and prize winners. Here's how. Buy any Fruta juice, find the code starting with BB, enter online or via WhatsApp. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Fruta Fruit Juice. Don't miss out. Drink Fruta and enter today. Real nice Fruta.
Smart Minds Educational Institute, offering preschool, nursery, and primary levels. Finally, a school that is every parent's dream. Located at 69 Crow Street, offering academic excellence, trained qualified teachers, small class sizes, personalized care, and one-to-one attention for your little ones. So if your child is for preschool, nursery, or primary level, come to Smart Mind, located at 69 Street, or call 231-4885 or 600-9229 to enroll now.
Welcome back to the HGP Nightly News. You will hear now that Minister of Public Works, Juan Edgel, has issued a stern warning to contractors and engineers, stating that they will face sanctions if they deliver unsatisfactory work. Find out more from Tiana Cole.
During a recent visit to the mining town of Linden, Minister of Public Works Juan Edgel inspected several road projects and made it clear that substandard work he observed at project work sites would not be accepted or paid for as the Linden road projects near completion.
We will not pay for sloppy work. We will not pay for work that is not acceptable.
Right.
All these concrete roads must achieve a PSI of 4,500. These roads are being tested by our labs before payments are made, and we have said to our engineers and clerk of works, you sign off on projects that are not good quality, you're gonna face the consequences.
The minister emphasized that while the government encourages contractors to bid for projects, they must meet the required standard in accordance with the regulations. Last year, the government announced that it was exploring penalties for delays and subpar work, reinforcing its zero-tolerance policy for contractors who fail to meet deadlines. In December 2024, the government awarded 325 contracts valued at $4.2 billion for road projects upgrades and 46 contracts worth $76.7 million for drainage improvements. These contracts were given to small contractors from Linden Region 10, Upper Demerara Berbice. According to Edgel, a significant number of these projects have already been completed.
We were pleased that the majority of the contractors who executed these projects did a fantastic job. We had 505 lots, and as I sit here tonight, we have completed about 410. The remaining 95 or thereabout are at different stages.
Tiana Cole reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
81 communities in Regions 1 and 9 receive potable water this week. The Minister of Housing and Water committed to developing independent water supplies to all riverine communities. Daisy Richards will tell you more.
Minister of Housing and Water Colin Crowell visited 2 villages located in Regions 9 and 1 respectively for the commissioning of these 2 water supply systems. Crowell commissioned the $23 million system in Yarang, Peru, and stated that the new facility would now alleviate the inconvenience the villagers faced when they fetched water from distant water sources, adding that the new system will target approximately 95% of the village. At the commissioning of the $15 million Kabura facility, the minister highlighted that the availability of more resources now is equal to more development in these communities.
Every community, therefore, will have access to potable water. Our first priority was to ensure we have first-time access. And then after first-time access is for the expansion.
The Kabura village has a population of 400 residents, which are divided into 3 sections, Upper, Central, and Lower Kabura. Due to the residents having to rely on a well in Lower Kabura and a distribution network in Central Kabura, Crowell said another well will be drilled.
Region 1 for this year, we'll be drilling over 40 wells in Region 1. By June here, all communities Where the source is the river or the creeks, we will ensure that we have independent supply for those communities.
The minister also said that rigs are already deployed in Regions 2 and 1 to start the drilling process. For HGP Nightly News, I am Daisy Richards.
Thank you, Dacia. Your regional news is up next.
You know, I've been thinking, since I moved over to the west side, this is the perfect location for put up a food stand.
Put up food stand here?
Yes, Officer Bringer.
No, Granny, you can't put up no food stand here.
Why not?
Because the gas to energy pipeline.
Gas to energy? Why is that?
You can bring gas from offshore to Region 3, that can turn into electricity and other things.
So what about if Granny put it up over there?
No, Granny, listen. This whole area here.
These nice products I spoke with proper things. Peppies, you get the best and these things. Oh no, bless up.
Okay. Pack up these things. Yellow, you put the things in the car.
Loving you is easy cause you're beautiful. Do-da-do-da-do. I love you, and you, and you, and you, and you. I love all of you.
Peppies, we put the pep back into your kitchen.
And you. I love Peppies.
Interested in honoring or paying tribute to a loved one, or just making a loved one feel special? HGP TV offers you all that and more. Air your birthday greetings, death announcements, and wedding anniversaries on HGP TV today. HGP TV offers affordable prices, convenience, and great services. Call us on 220-3660 or email us at sales@hgptv.com.
Good evening, I'm Daisy Richards with Friday's edition of the Regional News. We begin with news from Jamaica. A 15-year-old girl and a 28-year-old taxi operator have been charged with the murder of a man along Swanessa Avenue in St. Andrew on March 24. The taxi operator Deanco Williamson and the schoolgirl are both of Whitehall Avenue in St. Andrew. They are jointly charged with murder, conspiracy to murder, possession of a prohibited weapon, and unauthorized possession of ammunition following the shooting death of 25-year-old Kenardo Thompson of Bond Street, Kingston, 14. It is alleged that the teen girl was involved in an intimate relationship with Williamson and Thompson and orchestrated the plan to kill Thompson. The Constant Spring police say about 11 a.m. she lured Thompson to Swanessa Avenue, and while he was walking along the roadway, Williamson, along with two men traveling in an orange Kia Picanto motor vehicle, drove up. They reportedly held Thompson and shot him several times before fleeing the scene. The police were alerted, and on their arrival, they observed the vehicle speeding away. They managed to intercept the vehicle and apprehended Williamson as he attempted to escape over a wall. The police say following a series of investigative leads, the teenager was apprehended by the police on Tuesday. The pair was charged on Wednesday. Their court date is being arranged. While in Brazil said it is assessing all potential responses to United States' 10% tariffs on imports from Latin America's largest economy, while its Congress approved a bill outlining the framework for trade retaliation. Minutes earlier, Brazil's Congress approved a bill which still requires a ratification by President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva that establishes a legal framework for Brazil to respond to potential unilateral trade measures targeting its goods and services, including countermeasures such as tariffs. Though the text did not specify the United States, the bill gained traction with lawmakers in recent weeks amid the U.S. administration's threats to impose tariffs. The government also highlighted the framework's approval in its response to the U.S. tariffs. Finally, Finally, Argentina's Senate rejected 2 Supreme Court justice nominees proposed by President Javier Milei in a setback for the Libertarian leader who accused lawmakers of politicizing the vote. The president's February decree to appoint current federal judge Ariel Lijo and academic Manuel Garcia Mancilla had been questioned by jurists, political opponents, rights groups, and a broad spectrum of Argentine politics over procedural concerns and questions about the nominees' qualifications. The Senate, which has the power to oppose the appointment of judges by decree, rejected Garcia Mancilla's appointment by a vote of 51 to 20 and that of Lijo by 43 votes against 27. Some conservative lawmakers joined the opposition to vote down the nominations. In a statement after the vote, Milei's office condemned the vote and accused the Senate of only working, quote, to obstruct the future of the Argentine nation, unquote. Thank you for watching. Do have a great weekend. Until next time.
Guyana government to petition U.S. for lower tariffs. VP JAGDEO says good grounds exist. United States is not your friend, says GHK LALL, as Guyana faces 38% tariffs, and any party who pussyfoots on the implementation of biometrics intends to rig the 2025 elections, says NORRIS WITTER. Those are our major headlines. For these stories and more, please go to our website. It's www.hgptv.com. I'm Travis Chase. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.